going on, Jerome? It's a beautiful Tuesday. Birds are chirping and stuff, and it's time for another Vikings news dump. So, of course, the season's finally over. Thank God. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. But the NFL draft order is set. Picks 1 through 32. Vikings chilling at 24. And I don't know. Having 4 draft picks, a 1, 3, and 2/5. Trade down definitely could be a possibility, especially given the THICC thickness of the talent at the back end of the first round into substantially into day 2. So we'll see what happens. I'm sure that Kwesi will make some moves, find some grooves. I'm sure that people will hate on the moves for no reason, but it's what happens. Yeah. Titans up there at 1. I don't know if the Titans take a quarterback. I don't. I think they'll take a swing in free agency. I think Rodgers makes a lot of sense for the Titans, frankly. Maybe they'll try Will Levis one more time, just for comedic purposes, man. All right. And also, even though it's not a tier 1 quarterback class, some team is going to be desperate enough to trade up, and the Titans could turn that number 1 overall pick into a windfall. Whether it's the Browns who want to move up just so that they don't want to get leapfrogged. The Giants going up from 3. You got the Raiders potentially could come up. The who knows about the Jets. But, teams definitely could be in the business of moving on up for the Titans. So we'll see what happens. In terms of business for the Vikings, actually, Titans should sign Darnold. The Titans or the Raiders should sign Darnold. Right. But in terms of Darnold and the Vikings, we'll see. Diana Rossini of The Athletic, which is phenomenal. Diana Rossini on the Vikings quarterback situation, quote, Kevin O'Connell has so much confidence in what J.J. McCarthy can do, and this was even going back to training camp before he was injured. I think if J.J. stayed healthy, he was going to have a shot to start. I think that it would have started with Darnold, and I don't think that he would have been pulled at any point. Even after the Jets game, even after the Jaguars game, I still think that they would have rolled with Darnold, although there would have been a lot of pressure, especially after that Jacksonville game, 3 interceptions. There would have been so much fan and media pressure to put JJ in, plus McCarthy would have been in the offense for 2.5 months at that point, but do I think they want Sam? Absolutely. They're not going to spend a lot of money, though, keeping Sam there. And I do think that Kwesi is going to take the exact tact that they took with Kirk Cousins last offseason. It's clear that Kevin O'Connell wanted him, but Kwesi set the price point. And they had an offer on the table for Kurt. It wasn't a lot, and it was not what the Falcons ultimately paid him. And it was a smart move, right? And again, I think it is important that Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell share the same vision, but I think it's really good that they disagree sometimes. And it is a separation of church and state. It's a balance of power, checks and balances and all that stuff. I think it's good, right? And I think with Darnold, I think that they would take Darnold back for $25 million, but I think Darnold's going to get substantially more in free agency, right? And I think that they'll do right by him, whether letting him go or getting a beneficial tag and trade to the situation that he wants to go to and get the contract that he wants. So, we'll see. Also, no. So what started as, just like stupid fan connection.
Well, Favre went from the Packers to the Jets to the Vikings, so Rodgers should go from the Packers to the Jets to the Vikings.
And we've explained it. Rodgers is bad. First off, and also, I don't want comparisons between him and Josh Allen's black and white stats. Just in terms of yards per attempt, ADOT, quarterback rating, he's bottom 5th of the league in terms of starting quarterbacks. He's not good. He cannot elevate the team anymore. The arm strength is gone. The accuracy is gone. The mobility, which was always quality, has been gone since the Achilles. He just has no zip anymore with that foot, and he doesn't do anything. He's going to be 42 during next season. He does nothing. He does nothing to elevate a team. It would set this team back if they signed Rodgers because, 1, he's not playing for free. 2, I hate the term locker room cancer, but the Vikings culture and locker room, they have enough veteran leaders where they can withstand a bad apple or two. You can't do that when he's your quarterback, right? So I don't think that he would be good at all, right? But of course, the media, they're like a dog in a bone. They can't just let it go, right? And Schefter on the Pat McAfee show, quote, my guess would be that he winds up playing next season. He can be selective, and he can help a team. What if Minnesota loses Sam Darnold? Rodgers not coming here. Like, if the first off, Sam Darnold leaves, It's no great shakes. You have J.J. McCarthy waiting in the wings. If not that, you're very familiar with Daniel Jones, and you can bring him back for probably half the price of what Rodgers is going to be in free agency. Right? And Daniel Jones already chose you once. He certainly could choose you again because he loves the situation here. Right? So Rodgers, no, never. And we said this. If the Vikings somehow sign Aaron Rodgers, this will become a Raiders podcast. Black and white for the win. Me and my boy Sam Darnold, Pete Carroll, we're gonna be good to go. USC adjacent. Speaking of which, yeah, Schefter continued on the McAfee show, quote, I think the Las Vegas Raiders are going to make a play for Sam Darnold. I think he's a candidate to be the Raiders quarterback, mainly because also it pisses me off that the draft's in Green Bay. Like, you get 300,000 people in town, Detroit and Nashville, for the draft. I mean, where are they going to put everyone? Appleton? Nah. But the Raiders sitting there at 6. So I do think that Shedeur and Cam Ward go top 3 in some way, shape, or form. Teams TBD. But if the Raiders don't want to go quarterback at the top of the first or second round, you have an extra third-round pick from the Devontae Adams trade. We'll take a 3, 4, and a 5 in a tag and trade. No muss, no fuss. You don't have to outbid anyone. Go get your guy. Yeah, just make it happen, Captain. I love it. Also, speaking of making it happen, Nick Muse, your company's computer guy, won a Super Bowl ring. Same thing with Lewis Seen. Nick Muse choosing to sign with the Eagles practice squad versus signing a futures contract with the Vikings. Good business decision by him, is what it is. Got himself a pair of Oakleys in the locker room. I love that they have sponsored eyewear for post-game celebrations. It's good. Also, it wasn't a good video because he's off screen, but Nick Muse basically smoked Saquon in a shotgunning contest, which is kind of great. It speaks to the party atmosphere of South Carolina, go Gamecocks versus Penn State. Not saying. And also Nick Muse tweeted, smoked his ass. Saquon, let me know when you need a rematch. I feel like Eagles fans are gonna love Nick Muse. He's funny, has a good time. I liked him a lot, but yeah. He's one of the few Eagles that we can stomach. There you go. Also, another Eagle that hopefully the Vikings can stomach is Milton Williams. Future Viking Milton Williams was tied for Philly's highest PFF graded defensive player in the Super Bowl, a 90.9 with Cooper DeJean. Williams in the Super Bowl, 4 pressures, 2 sacks, 1 forced fumble recovery, 4 tackles, 1 red swing line stapler. And I know people are going to say, oh, it wasn't Milton Williams. It was Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, and Sweat. I mean, sure, but Milton Williams is getting after things, man. Plus, jumping Joe. So, the Chiefs have had injuries up front, and they've had Joe Thuney, who's all pro left guard. They had him playing left tackle. Stupid, extremely, extremely stupid. Milton Williams dominated Joe Thuney on some of his tackle reps. Just completely took him to the woodshed. And I'm in on Milton Williams, man. The more you scratch this kid's lottery ticket, the more that you see an ascending player, you see a player that's going to thrive and maximize his potential the next 5 to 6 years. Vikings should be all in on that. Absolutely. You have a defensive lineman who can be rotational at several positions, can press the pocket and make life easier for others too. It's just beautiful, man. Go get it. Also, Per Persuasion pointed this out. It really has been in front of our faces the whole time. Sign Milton Williams, draft Tyleik Williams, Williams Wall 2.0. Now, it is a little bit different since it's not a 4-3 nose tackle and 3 tech as Pat Williams and Kevin Williams were respectively. But Tyleik Williams on the nose, Milton as a 4 tech, 5 tech, 3 tech, all over tech. Love it, man. It'd be fantastic. Something's not fantastic. So, ball players, we asked AI, Allen Iverson, to predict the next 10 Super Bowls, and you won't believe the results in a couple years. In the year 2030, Super Bowl, God damn it, Super Bowl 64. I think I nailed it. Jaguars beat the Vikings. So it's kind of depressing. It's the only Super Bowl that the Vikings appear in the next 10 years. Also, the Lions do beat the Chiefs in 2035. So Lions fans have that going for them, I guess. I don't think the Packers appeared in one, so I guess we have that. I don't know, man. Like, obviously, a Super Bowl appearance would be a great end of season result, I guess, because I know everyone's going to say, well, if you don't win the Super Bowl, it's a bad result. Okay? The Vikings haven't been to a Super Bowl in almost 50 years. Like, there is not a Vikings fan that is age 48 or younger who has seen, who was alive when the Vikings were in a Super Bowl. Approximately 48, 49, somewhere in there. Yeah. So, not making the playoffs or losing in the division round is better than losing in the Super Bowl. Huh? That's always the argument too. All right, so when Brady and Montana were close in Super Bowl rings, because Brady lost a couple Super Bowls before he got his fourth and fifth ring, and the argument always was, well, Montana was 4-0 in Super Bowls, okay, and Brady had lost a couple Super Bowls, so it's better to lose to the Giants in the divisional round or the NFC title game than lose in the Super Bowl. That's better. It's a better result. Logic never squared with me. Something that's great. Illinois' lawmaker proposes Bears Act requiring teams to have winning records for public stadium funding. It's great. Now, at first, I thought that this was like an Onion headline, but apparently it's real. And now, obviously, just some state politician grandstanding and whatever, but it is so funny. It's hilarious. And I feel like, maybe not like winning record, something as black and white, but there has to be a concerted effort to have a winning team to secure public funding. That should be it. Where if a team is deemed to be non-competitive or intentionally trying to be non-competitive, I feel like they should and could have their lease revoked for public stadiums. That's what it should be. What do they do with the public stadium if and when the team leaves? I don't know. Spirit Halloween? What was always a thing, too? Maybe it's just me growing up try that in a small town. Maybe that's me growing up in a small town where it's just like every open or vacant building, just like we should turn it into a teenage hangout with laser tag. Wasn't laser tag that Saul suggested to Walter in Breaking Bad for money laundering? Just laser tag. I don't know. I never saw the point. Speaking of never saw the point. So since the Chiefs didn't win 3 Super Bowls in a row, Packers are still claiming that they're the only three-peat team. So they actually allegedly have 2 three-peats, 29, 30, and 31, and 65, 66, and 67. So congratulations for winning 3 not even Super Bowls, 3 championships during the Great Depression. Huh? Congratulations for beating like the Canton Bulldogs. And congratulations for when all the able-bodied men in America were just looking for work to try to keep their family afloat and try to feed their kids. Congratulations for like, hey, you know what we're going to do? We're going to win the football championship. Oh, jolly willikers. Yeah. And congrats in 65, 66, 67, during the Vietnam War, when the able-bodied men were out there fighting. Congratulations for winning 3 championships. Just great. Just focusing on the big things. There you go. So, bully on you. Can't believe the Bears Act is a real thing. I love it. I want the team to be so bad under Ben Johnson that they don't get the funding for their stupid stadium, and they have to move to like Milwaukee or something, or they have to move to Champaign. I don't know. Build a new stadium in Gary, Indiana. Scenic Gary, Indiana. Anyways, that's it. Vikings news done for this beautiful, wonderful Tuesday. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skull production value.